Hello artists, I'm Nina Weiss and we are going to talk about paint. So you have invested in some really nice acrylic paint. The tube is going to look so pretty and so pristine. What happens when you've been painting a couple of weeks? What does that tube look like then? Well, it may look something like this. Very well loved and very well used. And the thing is, you want to get the most out of that tube of paint. So what are you going to do? Well, the first thing that begins to happen is the paint starts creeping up onto the lid, into the lid, and around the neck. And eventually, and this happens to me, is this tube will not take a cap anymore because that paint just gets so built up. And of course, when acrylic dries, it gets very, very hard. So a suggestion, and not a bad thing to do, is after you're done painting for the day, you've cleaned your brushes, let's also clean the top of the paint tube and try and get some of that gunk that's built up out from there and from the inside of the cap itself. Because as I mentioned, eventually that will build up. And I have, unfortunately, some very sorry tubes of paint at home with duct tape over them. And I'm here to tell you that that does not save your paint. It will start to dry and you will lose the squeezeability of your paint. So wipe both the ring and inside your cap. You'll also notice that this tube and this tube has a crimping here. And I've got this marvelous tool that's kind of like a ringer. You can buy them at hardware stores and you turn it. But if you don't have that fancy device, you could just easily repurpose a toothpaste tube roller thingy, because what you want to do is squeeze from the bottom or roll from the bottom, and that's going to push all of that yummy paint up towards the top and make it really easy to squeeze out. So keep squeezing, kind of like the toothpaste tube, from the bottom up, or take your toothpaste roller and roll it up, or take your fancy mechanical crimper, and that's going to force the paint up into the tube. One more thing. We're using tubes, not tubs, because everything that comes out of this tube is pure paint. It's unadulterated. Sometimes when you use acrylic in tubs, you're kind of double dipping and it can get contaminated with other colors. So I really do appreciate the ease of these tubes as opposed to the tubs. Keep your paints clean. Keep the caps on the right colors. Don't squeeze from the middle. Squeeze from the bottom, and you should be in good shape and you will be able to use your paint to the very last drop.